guys, it's Jen, and I just wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about what I'm going to be doing today for my Inspired by video. Today we're being inspired by Ali Edwards, and I pulled a few things that I just wanted to explain why I pulled them in relation to how Ali inspires me. So she's very focused on storytelling and words and putting words with photos. And that's something that's also important to me, but this forced me to really think about the story that I wanted to tell. So I've done my journaling very first. I kind of sketched out what I wanted to do in my planner using my page planner, and I knew I wanted to do a photo with maybe a little bit of journaling and a title, and then maybe some strips of paper along the side. So, and then you can see I've written down that I wanted to do an important story, handwritten script, or her stamps, and maybe words on the photos. I didn't do words on the photo, but I do have these Technique Tuesday stamps from Ali Edwards that I am going to use on here, and I think probably at the bottom or something. And then I noticed that Ali uses wood veneer quite a lot, and so I might try to incorporate some wood veneer. And then she uses tabs a lot too, and I found this little tab from My Mind's Eye, and this is also from My Mind's Eye. I just pulled out my Mind's Eye die cut bin, and I might try to incorporate those on the layout too. So that's kind of where I'm coming from and where I'm starting, and I will go ahead and put you on fast forward now.
Okay, so I'm just pulling out a few different papers from my stash to see what I might want to use. And I found this striped paper, and it's from Maggie Holmes' Open Book. And it's just a black and a cream stripe. And I'm thinking about matting my photo with that paper. And then in my sketch, I had decided to put a few stripes of paper along the left-hand side. And so I'm just thinking about what kinds of papers I might want to put on the side. And I found that wood grain, and I thought that that would work nicely. The colors in this photo are not colors that I use very often, so this was really challenging for me, actually, trying to match the colors. I pulled out that striped paper, and that's from the new Chamel collection, and I can't remember what it's called, sorry. And so I'm thinking I'm going to use the wood grain and the red stripe, and I'm liking the way that that's looking, and I'm trying to figure out a way that I can use that circle tab. And one of the things that Ali Edwards often does is she'll punch out a circle and then put a smaller circle within that circle, and I just really like the way that looks. And so I'm going to try to do that with this tab. And I just pulled out my 1 1/4 inch circle punch, and I'm just testing it out here on these papers, and it's too small. So I'm just going to play around for a minute and kind of decide how I want to do this. I decided that maybe it would be nice to have half of the circle punched out of the papers, and then whatever circle I nestled inside of that circle, half of it would be just on the white cardstock, and half of it would kind of rest inside that half circle that I cut out. And so I'm playing with that idea right now too. Like, I thought this layout would take me just a few minutes because I had already sketched it out, and I already typed up my journaling, and I kind of had the plan in mind of what I wanted to do. But man, was it a struggle, and I don't know if it's because I wanted to keep it so simple. Sometimes simplicity is harder to create, I think, because when you have a layout that has just a few things on it, those things need to be really carefully placed and impactful. And so I was really struggling with the balance here. And so I'm looking through some of my die cuts and some of my stickers to see if I can find a circle that I think will work for this little idea that I have. And I'm not going to find one. In the end, I'll end up changing my mind about this entirely, and you'll see that. But I'm going to play around, and everything ends up being just a little too small, and I'm just having a real internal struggle with what to do with this here. So while I'm kind of fussing with that, because I'm going to do that for a while, I do find these Teresa Collins chipboard stickers from her Studio Gold line, and I do end up using that chipboard sticker that says the best day, but I don't use it here, and I'm going to continue to look for some things. Just briefly, I'll tell you what this photo is all about. These little rocks have hearts that my daughter painted on them, and then she had me help her write initials and names on them as well. These are rocks that she made to put on the headstones of some of the family members we have that passed away. And we happen to live just around the corner from our city cemetery. And my husband has 4 family members buried there, 5 now actually. And so on Sundays, we often take walks. Let me pause briefly to just tell you I'm using that Technique Tuesday stamp set that's from Allie Edwards to stamp So Totally Love You right below my journaling. And that's something that Allie does too, is she'll combine type with stamping, and I really love that look. And I stamped it with a Prima Chalk ink in Ladybug. Anyway, so we take these Sunday walks around the cemetery and kind of pay our respects. And my daughter noticed one day that a lot of the flowers and different things were strewn all across the cemetery, and there had been a big windstorm, and she kind of was sad about that. She didn't like that everything was scattered around, and so she's a real thinker, and I think she just kind of let that work in her mind for a bit, and she came to me and said that she wanted to do something that wouldn't blow away, and so she wanted to put some rocks by these headstones for her family members. And so it's her great-grandpa, my husband's brother, so her uncle, her great-grandma, and her great-uncle who she made these for. And it was just the sweetest thing, and just like a real strength to me. Like sometimes your kids teach you, and that was an instance where she taught me, and I just love that. So anyway, that's what the journaling's about. I wanted to make it something meaningful because that's a big part of Allie Edwards. I feel like her journaling always is really meaningful and tells a story that needs to be told. And so I really tried to focus on that. So I'm struggling with the title now, and I'm thinking I want the title to be Painted Rocks. I'm looking through some of the letters that I have. The ones I was playing with, there are some transparent Heidi Swapp letters. I'm going to pull out some other transparent Heidi Swapp letters as well. These are an aqua color, and play with these. And I'm just going to really struggle. I think I was having a hard time with them just taking up so much room. And so I finally decided to pull out this stamp set, and it's an old Studio Calico stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp these outline letters. And my title is going to be a bit of a play on words. It's She Rocks, because in the journaling I really talk about how impressed I was with my daughter. So she rocks, and it's about rocks that she made. So a little play on words, and I do cheesy stuff like that all the time. And I think that these alphabets are called Stepping Stone, from, like I said, from Studio Calico. And I'm just stamping the outline. They do have coordinating stamps that you can stamp in between, and I thought about doing that, but I decided against it. I think that I was having a hard time with the title feeling overwhelming and too heavy when I was trying those transparent letters, so this kind of fit the bill for me. So now I'm taking, these are basic gray stickers, and I'm just taking a little tab and thinking about placing that on the side of the photo. I'm going to take the sticky off the back because I'm not fully committed to it yet. And Allie Edwards loves tabs, uses them all the time, so I really did have her in mind when I was doing this. I'm taking my Chamel roller date stamp, and I'm just stamping the year. I don't have a specific month that I'm or day that I am really focusing on. I just want to make sure I know that it was the year 2013. So, and now what I'm going to do is take some of these bits of paper that I pulled out earlier, and I'm just ripping off the edges, and I'm going to place them at the top so that I've kind of got this vertical line of story and embellishment. And so, like I said, that striped paper is from Chamel. That polka dot paper is from Dear Lizzie Polka Dot Party. And then this other black and white striped paper is from Maggie Holmes' Open Book. I stapled that tab down, and I got ink all over. And so I'm just using my Tim Holtz craft knife to kind of scratch off the ink, and then I used my eraser to rub over where I peeled up the paper to make it look a little less rough. And it doesn't work perfectly, but it worked okay. And you'll see in the end, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to switch things up a little bit. I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing now, but I'm just playing with the camera trying to decide if I want to put this puffy heart or the puffy camera sticker somewhere. These are from Evalicious, and I decide against it. So I'm just having now a look through all of my embellishments because I feel like it's missing something. Looking at it now, I kind of like the simplicity of it. I kind of wish I would have just left it as it is right now. And I'm sorry that the bottom got cut off a little bit, but just having a look through my different embellishments, trying to decide what I could add because it just needs a little something. And as I'm looking, apparently I'm going to look for a minute off screen. I'm sorry. This little heart, again, is from My Mind's Eye. I just wanted to remind you that Juliet will be taking this challenge as well. She's got a layout share on her YouTube channel of how Allie Edwards inspired her, so be sure to check that out. I'll make sure to link to her channel below so that you can check that out. And if you'll go to the playlists section on my YouTube channel, there's a playlist called Inspired By where you can see the other videos in this series. And these are my crepe paper die cuts. I keep my die cuts in this little plastic bin that I got at Michael's. It's meant for 4x6 photos, but I keep my die cuts sorted by manufacturer in those little bins. So these ones are my Mind's Eye die cuts. And I'm going to pull out this little floral piece. I love florals. I haven't met a floral. Well, I have met a floral I don't like, but I love putting florals on my pages. And so I thought maybe that's what this needs. It just needs the Jen touch, which is florals, and because I was struggling for some reason. And so I pulled out these florals from My Mind's Eye die cut package, and it just doesn't feel right to me. I was really trying to emulate Allie's style, and I just didn't feel like she would have done that. And also it took away from the simplicity of it. I did find this die cut that says wow, and I really like that. I like this vellum die cut that I found from Crepe Paper as well. It's got the green in it, and green is not a color I use a lot in my scrapbooking, and so it was a bit of a struggle for me to try to incorporate that color, but I did, and I like it. And so I just layered that gold heart over the top of the vellum pinked. So both of those, the reason those circles work together is because they both have a pinked edge. So I really like that. And once I decided on those, I felt like that tab didn't quite belong. And so I took it off and I cut down my photo so that I could layer up some vellum behind it. And this is something I've seen Missy Whitten do before, where she takes a piece of vellum and she'll kind of fold it up behind the photo just to give it some extra texture and dimension, and I really, really love that, and I've been wanting to try it. And so I thought this was a good place where I could add a little bit of texture but not too much distracting from the design of the layout. And then after that, I felt like it did need something behind the photo, but I can't decide what yet, and so I just go ahead and glue it down. And I'm going to put some India ink splatters, and I'm just using a big round brush for that. And I kind of regret doing this, honestly, but it looks okay, and I put splatters on a lot of my pages, so it kind of makes it mine. Here I just pulled out a random 6x6 piece of paper. I don't know where this came from. My sister-in-law gave me like half of a package that she got, and so this is just a blue and white stripe. I know it's from American Crafts. I don't know what line. I think it's pretty old. So, but it's just like a soft blue color. And I think what I felt the layout was missing, it had a certain holiday quality to me because it was all red and green. And so I wanted to bring a little bit of blue in. And so I'm just going to bring that on either side of the photo to just kind of break up the color a little bit, give it another color. And that is just about where my layout's going to be complete. I'm going to look for one more little circle. I feel like I need a little bit more balance. I've got two circles. I I need a third at least. And so I'm looking through some of my products to find that. And I end up bringing back the Best Day chipboard circle from Teresa Collins Studio Gold, and then a little circle sticker that says 4 because there are 4 rocks. And that's going to complete the layout. I also added some stitching, as you can see in the close-up photos. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to check out Juliet's channel for her interpretation. We'll see you later. Bye.